Hey Sainers, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. Welcome to a ones to watch video for 2026. I've got a list of 4 players that for me, I'm very intrigued to see how they perform in 2026. That could be at AFL level, it could be at VFL level. It doesn't matter. Put it in the comments who are the players that you're very intrigued about, whether it's positionally, where they're going to play, where their best football might be, can they crack into the AFL team? Is their position in the AFL team under pressure by maybe someone in the VFL and that sort of stuff? So for me, I've got 4 players. No surprises that to me, all 4 of them will play a big part in our long-term plan and hopefully our climb up the ladder to success. So we'll start at the very top. Max Hall. Max Hall for me, he's one of my favourite players. He would be top 3 for me favourite players right now based on his performances last season. High half forward, could roam into the midfield, really just surprised all of us. From literally round 1, playing against Adelaide, kicking a beautiful goal. I think it might have been our first goal of the season or thereabouts. It was an earlier goal in the game. He really never looked back from that point. You know, every week you knew what you were going to get. He was incredibly consistent, and what I loved about him was he didn't need big numbers to make a big impact. And there's so many games you can look back on where he had 18, 19 possessions and he kicked 2 or 3. I think against Hawthorn he might have kicked 4. I've got his stats up on the screen here, so we'll just quickly go through them. But for me, Max Hall is one to watch because there's so much, I think, still to come from him. Like if you look at his averages, 15 over the season, goals, averaging at least a goal a game. Most goals was 3, sorry. I thought he kicked 4, but it was 3 against the Sydney Swans. Ultra consistent. If you look here, disposals 16, 13, 18, only 8 on that day. But then for the majority, he's hovering around 15. Yeah, and he finished the season really strong. And no surprise that he performed so well in the best and fairest as well. You know, the coaches rate him, the players rate him. He would be, for me, one of the first players to put on the team sheet. Seriously, you know, we've got a lot of players that would be straight up there, Naz, Wilkie, Sinks, but I don't think Max Hall would be that far behind. And next year, he's one of the ones to watch for me because the evolution of what he can do, more time into the midfield. Can he get some of those bigger numbers? Can he sit deep in the forward line and be a dusty type player where he's dangerous, you know, close to goal, whether Liam Ryan pushes up or Higgins pushes up and Hall can rest forward a bit more? There's so much in his weaponry. I just think he's got a booming kick. He's explosive. He's clearly got endurance. He's got capabilities to play midfield. He kicks goals. He's a high impact player off low disposal count. He doesn't really have many weaknesses. You know, he loves the scrap. He loves the defensive side of the game as well. He tackles, he chases, but he's so effective going ahead of the ball. It's just so dangerous, and I'm really excited to see him move into the midfield a little bit more, support Naz, rotate. It might be a similar sort of vibe to this year, but maybe up that midfield time just a little bit, and rotate through there and just be as dangerous as he has been this season. Because if he produces a similar season again, I don't think we would be disappointed. I think we would be stoked to have a player that we picked up like that from Box Hill, and for him to be genuinely one of the most important players in our team, potentially in the next couple of years. That's a credit to him and a credit to the club for getting the best out of him. So Max Hall is one to watch for me. Really exciting to see where he goes in the midfield next season, and can he go to another level going into 2026. The other one is Alex Tyrou. No surprise why I think a lot of you would have him on that list. For me, he's an athletic freak, the flying Viking. We know he can do it in the back line, but can he do it in the forward line? I know there is a lot of talk, and we've seen it at training with Anthony Caminiti potentially pushing back to the forward line, even though he played predominantly fullback in the 2025 and a bit of the 2024 season as well. But for his development, where is his best position? Where is his most dangerous position? We know he's good in the back line. We know that he can be a great third and float. If Wilkie and Silvani are kind of handling the big gorillas, maybe that opportunity for Alex Tyrou to float and almost be the Wilkie in that way, where he's not completely manned up on a bloke, but He's in every contest. He's punching the ball out of bounds and he's taking intercept marks. A Jeremy Howe type player. I think that's when he was drafted. A lot of people thought that's the sort of player he could be. But I just have a feeling he would be a very, very good forward. And if we've got Dougal Howard back with Wilkie and Silvani, I know there is question marks whether even Dougs gets into the team. Who knows? But with Caminiti going forward, I think maybe that gives us the answer that he's not going to be down there too often. But for me, I find it very hard not to get excited about the prospect of a King, Alex Tyree partnership. For me, it just feels really right with Rowan Marshall as that third at centre half forward. I don't know why. I could be way off, but he's got speed. He's great on the lead. He's got the jukes. He's got the height, aerial ability. He's got the mongrel in him as well. He doesn't shy away from a contest. He will put his body on the line every chance he gets. I don't know. If Caminiti's first preference for that position, maybe that stops Tyree, but I just think maybe not next year, but in years to come, there's a level of development there that I really want to look into. So that's why he's one to watch for me. But again, even if he didn't go forward and he stayed back, one to watch because he's literally one to watch. He's one of our most exciting young prospects, one of the most exciting young prospects we've had in a long time. And you'd be silly not to be excited to go watch football and be excited about watching him fly for the footy and do what he does every single week. So Alex Tyree, pick 10 in the 2024 draft, had a great first season in the AFL, came in halfway through, didn't look back, and absolutely excited to see what he can do in 2026. The third one, no surprises again, and he's been talked about a lot in the preseason. Darcy Wilson, he was pick 18 in 2023. He had a great 2023 or 2024 season and played pretty much every game. He's got 41 games under his belt. Last year was a struggle. We know that. We know he's an endurance beast, but last year for a lot of the season when he did get his opportunity, he just didn't capitalize on it. He didn't use his speed. He didn't look confident in his own ability. Maybe in his body he's confident, but in his head it just didn't look like he felt like he belonged just yet. And that's why he went back to the VFL, had some very, very strong performances, found his groove in the midfield, kicked some goals as well, and he came back in, and we saw what he did against the GWS Giants in the final game of the season. Kicked 5 goals, was the man of the match, was our best player, looked like a different bloke, looked like a dangerous young player that has got the world at his feet and he can do whatever he wants. He's got everything going for him. He's got speed, he's got endurance, he's got power, he can kick goals, he can go into the midfield, he can play forward line. Him and Max Hall, who I've already talked about, rotating in some capacity in midfield forward, that looks very exciting to me. And if you've seen the images of Darcy Wilson this offseason, he looked fit last season. I don't know what level is you can describe this year, but he looks next level. He won the time trial again, the 2 or 3K time trial ahead of Brad Hill. We know he's always going to be excellent in that department, but for me, can he really bottle that GWS game and stretch that out over an entire season? Because if he does, he's potentially got the ability to kick 30 to 40 goals a season as a half forward and be one of the most dangerous players in our team because players can't go with him, because he's got that endurance, because he's got that speed, and he's just ability in front of goal. He knows where the goals are. So it's going to be hard for Saners to not look at that Giants game and go, that's Darcy Wilson. That's what we expect for you going forward, mate. You know, that's what we want to see every single week. You're not going to kick 5, but just that aggression to take the bloke on. And he was a bit timid at the start of the season. In that game, he took players on, he backed his own skills, and he trusted himself, and it paid off. So, one to watch, Darcy Wilson. I cannot wait to see what he can produce. And I feel like if you go back a year, I would have put him in my ones to watch again. He's just got the talent. He's just got the talent. He needs the consistency. And after 41 games, he's getting to that level where you begin to expect that. So very excited to see what Darcy Wilson can do next season. And the last one is one that maybe I don't know, maybe it's a surprise that he's on this list. I'm not too sure. But I just think that Toby Travalia is one to watch for me. Just because I don't really know what he can be yet. And that to me is exciting. We got him as in the draft. We want him in the midfield. He can play half-back. He can play the wing. To me, last year was a big learning curve for Toby Travaglia. Let me get his stats up so we can just understand where he is coming from as a base. I didn't get Darcy Wilson's or Taru's up. Apologies for that. But here is Toby Travaglia's season. So debut was great. 18 disposals. But really from that point, apart from the Gold Coast Suns game, obviously I think a couple of these games were the sub. He kind of struggled to get into them. Those were his averages there. So under 10 possessions a game. I think Toby's going to be a bit of a slow burn, but he's still one to watch for me because he's a top 10 draft pick. And I just feel like he's a player that will click at some point. I don't think he needs 4 or 5 seasons to get going. I think he's a very confident bloke. Like, he was confident when we drafted him. And I think based on what I've seen in training so far, he performed very, very well again in the time trial. I think I don't know if he was top 5, but he was very, very good. He was hovering with Darcy Wilson for a bulk of that time trial until Darcy Wilson put the Jets on. But Toby is a project player. I think that's what people would label him. But he's got height. I think he's got confidence. That long goal against Carlton in the preseason game last season, just straight off the bench, kicked one from outside 50. Look, he might start the season in the VFL when you look at best 23 and how tough it's going to be to break into the team. But I think he's the type of player that would absolutely love that challenge. And I think already at VFL level, he is a level above. But looking at the growth of Wilson, I see Toby in a similar vein where he's going to get games, and I think he's just going to continue to grow. And he's got the skill set. He's clean. He dashes off half back. He takes the game on, maybe sometimes too much, but I think it's just a maturity thing for Toby. I think we drafted him for a reason. He was top 10 for a reason, and his athleticism makes him a bit of a point of difference. Whether he plays off half back, because that position is a bit open still, the half back flank. That's one position that is open. Whether it's Hasty, who I thought, if it wasn't Toby, I would have put Hasty as this spot, the final spot in this video. But I put Toby. Maybe he can make that his own. But eventually, midfield is going to be the goal. But not every player can go through the midfield. Some players will find their best position outside the midfield. And it could even be a wing. Him and Darcy Wilson as our long-term wing prospects. Who knows? That could be an absolute lock in 2027 and beyond. But Toby is he's a bit behind like the Wilsons and the Tarus for me. But he's the next in line. But he could easily just excel and jump past. I just don't think it will take... he's put a bit of size on. He's got the endurance. I think it's, again, just continuity and confidence. And once he ticks those boxes, whether it's in the VFL or not, I think we've got a player there. And very excited to see what he can do as he matures. So he's only, 19 or something like that? Long way to go, but already one to watch for me. And I expect... just to climb those numbers, under 10 possessions a game, hit 15. Hit 15, 16, who knows? And then build from there. Have a couple above 20 if you can. That's sort of the approach I would take with Toby. So those are the players for me that are the focuses, the ones to watch in 2026. Max Hall, Alex Tyroot, Darcy Wilson, Toby Travaglia as well. I'm very curious to see how he goes. Wilson, he's going to explode at some point. It could be in 2026. Tyru, it's positional for me. Is his best football in the back line? Is it in the forward line? How's that going to go? And then obviously Max Hall, I just want to see him go to another level again. He started the season, or he had a consistent 2025 excellent season for St Kilda. Can he go to an elite level and really stay at that level for the next couple of years, playing as that half forward / midfield player that can kick goals? So those are the plays for me. Please put your plays in the comments, Sainers. I hopefully enjoyed the video. Take care, and as always, go you mighty Sainers. See you guys.